So polarized. You know, I'm up on Capitol Hill. My show is broadcast some weeks from Capitol Hill and some weeks from Coral Gables. So I'm up there a lot, and I meet a lot of these folks, and on both sides of the aisle. And it is just so charged. And the thing right now is that, you know, yes, you got the National Export Initiative, but what does it mean? And we're all trying to figure that out. And even the numbers are pretty fuzzy, because we're going to double exports in the next 5 years, then that means that we should be adding about $1.4 trillion more business to our economy. But yet we're only going to increase by 2 million jobs. Prior to the economic crisis in 2008, exports employed 10.3 million people, and now after the crisis it's 8.8 million. So basically what they're saying is they're going back to the 2008 levels and increasing jobs by just 500,000, yet we're doubling our exports. So I mean, this stuff isn't tying together, okay? So nobody really knows what it means. I mean, I'm an exporter, I don't know what it means, but what I think it means is that it's a way of growing government even more, okay? Because the emphasis isn't put on the American entrepreneur, those small businesses. It is making the government bigger to try to support them. Quite honestly, that's not what we need. We need these barriers and manipulations and distortions that prevent me from exporting to so many countries in the world. It's the structural issues that they should be focusing on. It's what do we do about China? You know, all of this tough talk. And a couple of weeks ago, it was time for the Treasury Secretary to say, China, you are a currency manipulator. And they backed off. So all of this tough talk, and yes, we're going to protect the American exporter, and then the one very important issue that would show that there was a real change of attitude, they back off. So yeah, we got to get these 3 agreements done. But boy, that is just such a tip of the iceberg. What we need is so much bigger than that. And what I'm afraid of is the whole concept of free trade agreements is stuck in the sand. It's not going anywhere, because both sides are dug in. And the demagoguery on one side has convinced Main Street America that they're right, and we're wrong. So we have to recast the argument. We have to take it to another level and find consensus and bring to the forefront these issues like poverty and corruption and the rape of our environment and labor rights and so on, which are in the agreements, but they're kind of way back in those agreements. They're not, you know, they're not at the forefront. So I think that there's ways that we can build a consensus. But it isn't going to be based on the arguments that we are proposing today, because they're dug in and we're dug in and it ain't going nowhere. And unfortunately, if I was addressing this group 5 years from now, we would be talking about the same thing. Unless we reframe the arguments and build the consensus to get this stuff done. And let me tell you, our competitors aren't sitting still. They're laughing at us. Our competitors from Beijing to Berlin are standing on their chairs and cheering at what's happening inside the American Congress, because it's more business for them and less for us. So we better get our act together.